David Reyes back here, AM 760 KFMB. You know, I was remembering back when I first started this business, and it's been kind of my life's journey here, and it was back in the mid-90s. I've been doing this now for going on 22 years with a lot of passion and vigor, and just always trying to get better. We have a saying in our home with my two kids, 3 kids now. What am I talking about? 2 daughters and a son. I can't forget about my son, David. And we call it "Can I?" And it's constant and never-ending improvement. So, you know, as human beings and as brothers and sisters and husbands and wives, as business people, we're always trying to get better. And I'm always trying to be better as an advisor and a confidant to my clients and to you on the radio. So I'd like to be able to share with you my knowledge and insight. And I'm just kind of reflective right now because I'm thinking of times when, again, I first started in the mid-90s. And it was just such a different time relative to retirement planning. Now, all I've ever done in this business is retirement planning. So I have a saying that you're going to retire once. I've retired hundreds of times. And I'm a lot younger than my clients. That my average age of my clients probably about 65, 67. We have clients in their 90s. We have clients in their 80s, 70s, 60s, you know, some in their 50s. And I think we have 2 clients in their 40s. I know the 2. So again, we're dealing with what I call that transition, transition into retirement. And I remember back when I first started, you know, there was the 3 legs of a stool for retirement planning. And we used to call them, there was 3 things: pensions. You had a pension, you had Social Security, and you had your retirement savings, right? Well, what's wrong with that story? There's no more pensions. I mean, clients still have them, don't get me wrong, but there's less and less people that have pensions. Most of the big companies are switching to 401k plans, and the pension benefits that are still around are getting diminished. And the problem is that the pendulum has swung, and we had all these baby boomers that were working, and now they're retiring. And there's just a lot of stress on Social Security, on Medicare, on pensions, and private and public pensions. And so it's a problem. So today we're faced with a bigger challenge that you remove the pensions or reduce the pensions. So we really need to focus on maximizing Social Security. I've spoken for years now about this. It's been about 3 years. I've been talking and hosting workshops and educating my clients on Social Security. So Social Security, it's really become more important. And it's the only asset that you have that really is like an investment, because Social Security between the age of 62 and 66 grows at 6% plus cost of living. From 66 to 70, it grows at 8% plus cost of living. Now, you tell me what other investments that you have that grow guaranteed if you trust the federal government, which I do. I mean, they're not going to let that benefit go. So get that kind of rate of return, a 6 to 8% rate of return plus inflation. There's no way that you can't get that. So what you want to do is treat that like an investment. And we want to defer that as long as possible, because do you want to spend an asset that later you can get 6 to 8%, or do you want to spend an asset you're more concerned about that may not earn that kind of rate of return? And I can tell you on a forward basis by guys a lot smarter than me. In fact, one of my favorite economists from Yale, Robert Shiller. Robert Shiller just won the Nobel Prize for his work. Awesome guy. Talks economics like you can actually understand him. And his forecast, and he's not the only one that says this, that over the next decade plus, you're probably going to get average stock market returns around 5% and bond returns of 2%. So if you have a 60%, 40% stock to bond portfolio, which most of you have in some form or another, you're talking about an average rate of return of about 3%, not including taxes and inflation. That's a problem. That's a big problem. According to Morningstar, you can only take out about 2.8% of your assets per year. There used to be this thing called the 4% rule. So if you had $1 million, all the numbers are saying you can only take out 2 to 3%, which you're talking $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Most of you need more than that in your portfolios because what? We don't have a pension. So what do? You know, I always come across the same article when I start doing homework for this, and it's a great article that was put together by Retirement Planning Magazine in the Journal of Financial Planning, and it interviews these advisors. And all of them say the same thing. So David Blanchett, who's a CFP and CFA, head of retirement research for Morningstar, when asked what, with this 4% rule that's really out the window, that's now like the 2% rule, what are some things that you can do to protect your retirement and to increase income? And he says, I think annuities can place a valuable role, especially for older retirees. Now, as a firm, we're a fiduciary. We manage stocks, bonds, mutual funds. We use annuities very sparingly, but for clients, especially under $1 million, the right type of annuity can be a really great tool. Now, I had a client come to me the other day, and he went to another advisor. We were, I guess you call it, competing for this client. He'd went to the 4 advisors, actually. But this one advisor he was thinking about gave him this plan, and he's 72 years old. And he said, here you go, you're going to buy a bunch of annuities. He has about $1 million. He wants to buy a bunch of annuities and life insurance, right? And, that was his, I call hammer and nail. So that's an annuity salesperson, right? We use annuities as a fiduciary very precisely. So when we use them, in his case, at $1 million portfolio, we bought $300,000 worth of annuities. He still has $700,000 managed, with risk as the number one concern, risk management. Winning by not losing, remember, we focus on risk first. And so we want to use annuities very precisely, not sell annuities. So if you want to get a second opinion from me and learn how to use annuities, to use different strategies and money management strategies that we use to protect your wealth, to increase your income, most of our clients are taking out around 5% of their income without running out of money. Okay? Big number. It's almost double. It's probably double what the academics are saying you can do. So if you want to learn more how to do that, you want to meet with me personally. This is David Reyes of Reyes Financial Architecture. You can meet with me personally and get a second opinion at 1-800-611-1967. That's 1-800-611-1967, or visit me on the web at reyesplan.com. And again, we're going to be having an event, an educational event, pretty soon. We just ran out of space here and had it sell out in 2 days. We're going to have another one at Ruth Chris in San Diego, just across La Jolla, off La Jolla Village Drive, across the freeway there. If you want to get on the waiting list for that next one we have, you can go to my website, reyesplan.com. That's REYES plan.com. So let's keep up with this whole 4% rule issue. So another CFP in the same article from the Journal of Financial Planning, when asked, what do you think can be done to help to increase retirement income and protect retirement income so we don't run out of money? Wade Fu, who is a very well-respected professor of retirement income at the American College, says a dynamic asset allocation policy in retirement, he's talking about money management, a dynamic asset allocation, not a passive portfolio, dynamic. We believe that as well. And the impacts of a partial use of annuities with single premium deferred annuities can still work much better than a traditional portfolio. So again, same thing. Another CFP, Margarita Chang, she's the CEO of Ocean Global Wealth, Blue Ocean Global Wealth, asked the same question. She says, for example, long-term care are issues that we need to protect wealth, Social Security benefits, maximize Social Security, and the use of annuities. And these are all CFPs, Certified Financial Planners. This is in the Journal of Financial Planning. These are people that manage money like we do as a firm. They're not selling annuities. They're using them like we are as a firm to minimize the risk of running out of money and to increase return. So again, if you want me to look at your portfolio, look at your estate, tax, all your planning, all of our clients have written plans. If you'd like to do that, you'd like to look into our firm and see if we can help you personally, just give me a call, 1-800-611-1967. Again, that's 1-800-611-1967, or go to my website, reyesplan.com. That's REYES plan.com. Hold on, and I'm going to talk about, believe it, I call it the R word, recession. I believe we're closer to recession than we are to a continued bull market. And I want you to hang on, and I'm going to talk to you about that. This is David Reyes, AM 760, KFMB.
A well-designed, tax-free retirement. And you can have it.
How come I didn't find out about this before?
The retirement architect, David Reyes, will continue next.